at Artistic Jewelers. The video you're about to watch is sponsored by Artistic Jewelers, so stay tuned for the ad and see what we have in store for you. Bye! Artistic Jewelers, the name says it all. Step into our store and experience our family's dedication to technique, detail, quality, and bringing your ideas to life. Known for our custom creations and our beautiful works of art. Pieces that will last a lifetime. Not just jewelry, but masterpieces. Artistic Jewelers is not your average jewelry company by any means. We are here to set you apart from the rest. We can't wait to see you and help you design your creation. Or pick one of our uniquely designed and carefully crafted works of art from our jewelry designers and gemologists. Check us out at www.artisticvi.com or visit us right in the heart of Main Street in St. Thomas. There is a warrior inside of all of us. It's time to find that warrior and trust your inner self. I am Megan Bryan, and this is Moments with Me, Island Sweetheart. You guys are about to watch Shaira Daswani share her impactful and powerful story. She is the owner of Tulanda, which is a beautiful, empowering health company of coaching of women who you're going to find out when you watch this video, her story. She is also the owner of Artistic Jewelers and the wife of Max Daswani and the mother of beautiful little Yana. I hope you guys find some meaning in this video, and please stay tuned for more. Hi beautiful Island Warriors, welcome back to Moments with Island Sweetheart. I am really excited for today's interview. We have someone really powerful next to me. She is an inspiration, a beacon of hope, a super mom, an incredible wife, and an amazing boss.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm really lucky. I have goosebumps actually. She is truly an inspiration, not just to me, but to many others, and I reached out to her and asked her to share her story, which I know is not always easy because I think it's going to help a lot of you out there, or maybe someone you know. And you have done everything you have done, and they're about to find out, in such a graceful, beautiful way. And that's the definition of a warrior. And there's so many different types of warrior, and we'll get into that. But first, Shaira Daswani.
Thank you, Megan.
Welcome. I know you go by Nitya too. You talk a little bit about that.
I do go by both names. Nitya is my after marriage name. So in Indian community, in our community, we change both names, first and last, depending on, and middle, because we take on our husband's name as our middle name from our father's names. So
kind of like you get a new identity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but for business, for school, my child's school and everything, I go back to what my legal, the name I was born with. So Shaira.
Who you are.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
A name.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk a little bit about your upbringing. It's actually really unique, and I love hearing your story. You're from a whole nother side of the world.
Yep.
And hopefully people will see this on that side and this side. But you're from Africa, Nigeria in
I grew up there.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing, and I know you moved a little bit around before you came to the Virgin Islands, so I'd like to hear about that if you don't mind.
So I did. I went to school. I was brought up in Lagos, Nigeria, in West Africa, and I did my whole schooling there. And then for high school, college, I went away to India.
Wow.
It was a whole different experience, a whole nother world. And then I went for my master's to London, which was absolutely magic. It was, I think, the best time of my life. First time I ever lived alone. It was an intensive course, but I loved what I did. And yeah, so I traveled quite a bit growing up, even with my parents, on my own, for education, but a lot with my parents. But yeah, it was very different from this side of the world.
Yeah, there's nothing like traveling. I really feel like
Yeah.
you can read a million books, but until you travel and see, that is where your enlightenment kind of comes in about the world and other people, the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So you did your master's in London.
I did.
How old were you when you went to India?
I went to India when I was 11 or 12, and then I was there until 18, 19, I think, yeah.
And India's quite big. Where were you in India?
I was in Bombay.
Okay, so
I
that's
was
like a big
in
city
Bombay.
also,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I lived with my grandparents there. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, and then you're now a young adult in London. And then did you go back to Nigeria? Or
I did. So after I finished my master's, I got offered an amazing job in Singapore to head.
Oh my gosh.
To head the HR department of the IBM computer systems in Singapore.
Wow.
And I got picked off campus in London, so it was a
Brains
once
and
in a
beauty.
lifetime opportunity. But I took a little sabbatical right after I finished studying, and I said I was going to take that job in 6 months. And in those 6 months, I met my husband while on vacation, and I never went. I never
Life has
went.
a bigger plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I could say I think that turned out quite well for you.
It did. It did. I lucked out. I mean, our story was unique. We met, we got engaged very, very quickly, got married very quickly.
Yeah. So usually, you know, the Indian culture, even though you grew up in Nigeria, that's your base.
Yeah.
Arranged marriages are really popular.
Arranged marriages in Indian culture, yes, as a whole are very
As a whole.
popular.
But you guys
You're
didn't
right.
go that route, it kind of.
So ours was a little bit of both, I would say. I came here on vacation to visit my best friend, but
Met the love of your life.
going back a little bit, he had seen a picture of me
told me.
in my best friend's wedding album, and then
That's the one.
he said, "Who's that?" And then he saw me in the wedding video, same person. He said, "Who's that?" So she put two and two together. She's like, he's asking about the same girl over and over. So she was like, "Oh, come visit me. You're coming to America to, see your brother in college. Come visit me." And I came, and he literally, I was here for 3 weeks. He had 3 weeks to woo me, and that was it.
And he did it.
He did it. He really did. He's
back.
a smooth talker.
Yeah. I know, I work with him.
You do know. So we were engaged a month later. We were married 6 months later. It's the shortest courting period ever.
Oh, I've heard some short ones.
Yeah. For me, it was quick, but
When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so powerful. Okay, so what was the wedding like? I would love to hear
The
about
wedding
it.
was traditional Indian. We
Beautiful.
both knew we wanted a traditional wedding, so we got engaged here in St. Thomas with all his friends and community here, which is now my community. But and then 6 months later, we planned the wedding in India, and we had a traditional Indian wedding. My grandparents were there. We wanted the whole family to be together.
Did you do the horses and everything like
We
that?
did everything.
So
We did
excited.
it all.
I need to look up. There must be a video somewhere.
I think so.
Yeah,
We
I'm gonna
have some
to do
pictures
some
and
digging.
videos.
Okay, so now you moved to the island. You're been to Europe. You've been in India and Africa, and now you're in America. You've obviously traveled to America before,
Yes, just on a vacation.
right? And you're a young newlywed. How old were you?
I was 23 when I got married. I was very young.
Yeah.
And
That's when I had Lily. I
yeah,
actually found out I was pregnant with Lily in London.
At-
So I
at
love
that
our stories, kind of how.
age. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
young. It's young to be going through whether
Just quick.
motherhood or
Yeah.
especially in today's day and age. Back in the day, it was
Older.
it was known, but now it's like
Yeah. there's so
very
much.
young to have a baby
Yes.
at 23 or to
Yes.
move somewhere or you know.
Yeah. So.
So I came here, and with all that education I had, I thought I'd take up a corporate job, but I ended up getting into the business with my husband, which I love.
Yeah.
I loved, and we started a new business together. We started a new jewelry store together a year after we got married.
Power couple.
Which was, a lot on us, but we did it. We stuck together. We did it. Husband, wife working together doesn't always work out. But we always understood that we were each other's support system, punching bag, all of that. So it was okay.
People I've been with and lived with, and it's a lot.
It can get hard. It can get hard. But we enjoy working together. We enjoy being together. We looked at it as maximum time together.
Maximum.
So,
I love that. You're both Leos.
We are both Leos.
So what is that like? A lot of fire.
So a lot of people asked us when we got together, they said, oh my God, you're both Leos, that's going to be really hard. And I said, well, a lion can only live with another lion, not with anything else. So
no wonder you're the power couple.
I think we understand each other. We are very different in our own ways, but connect on a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Leos have big hearts, but they're fierce as well.
Yeah.
So how did you build your community? You just kind of met and felt at home?
I did. The people in St. Thomas, the community in St. Thomas was so welcoming. They just embraced me and all of it. My in-laws' family. It was very difficult to move because it was the first time I was really moving away from my parents, where they didn't see me every 3 months or something like that.
Right.
I felt like I was out in the world alone, which was a little difficult, but Max was my support system. Yeah, I felt very safe. I knew, he gave me that stability and that comfort, that security that my parents gave me. So
and your parents gave you the knowledge and the builds.
Everything. So I fit right in. I know I still hear a lot of people coming from all over and finding it hard to settle in a small island, but I love it. I embraced the island as well. So my work kept me busy. Everything just kept me busy.
Yeah, I've been with Artistic for quite a while now, a couple of years, and I actually worked with you guys like 7 years before just starting the marketing and media, which now we rely so much on.
Absolutely.
And I can say that, you guys have customers that have been coming since you guys built it together and opened it, and they just always come back and speak so highly of you guys. So you really have built something that I get to be a part of. That's amazing.
Thank you. And you are an integral part of of Artistic.
Thank you.
We love having you.
Yay, thank you. Okay, so I want to dive into you getting married, you working with the company. I know you guys traveled a lot, and then you guys wanted to build a family. So tell me a little bit about that process. So
we actually started trying, and I know a lot of people don't know this, we started trying to get pregnant soon after, as in not consciously trying, but we knew from 6 months after marriage that we were ready. We wanted a family. That's what I thought my life was about. Having the perfect family, having, being a homemaker. In spite of being a working person, I wanted that as much. And it took 15 years. It was a long process. We struggled with infertility for a long time, and I say it as that word. I don't like to use that word, but it is what it is.
It's not really commonly talked about.
It isn't. People shy away because people look at you. We always felt this, and I'm going by my perspective.
Yeah, of course, because you felt it, the looks. And
exactly,
the
and maybe people did, maybe people didn't, but they were always wondering, what's taking them so long to get pregnant? And it literally looks like from the outside, and again, that's my perspective of it, that they have everything, but they don't have one thing. They don't have a child. They want a child. They don't have a child, and you feel like you're looked at just accusingly, not even accusingly, I don't know, like a little bit less, or I can't get the right word, but I feel like
just started a family.
Yeah, exactly. And there's something wrong with her, or there's something wrong with him. And it's not always about something being wrong. It's Max and I realized over time,
divine timing.
It is divine timing. It has to be divine timing. And I realize that now, after having a child, that there was a reason that God did what He did and didn't give us a child earlier. It all makes sense now, but it didn't at that time. At that time, we had no one to talk to. It was just us. Nobody in our families had ever been through anything like this.
Which is why it's so powerful that you're sharing it, because you know what it's like to not have anyone to talk to.
And you know,
and many
everyone's
people go through it.
Yeah, it is one of the most untouched topics,
right? And it's like more so than not, that's usually an
absolutely
issue.
Which drove me to what I do today, but we'll get into that in a bit. But it was a very trying time in our lives, but we stuck together. Couples don't usually make it through this. A lot of couples don't. We've had our ups and downs. I'm not going to pretend like Max and I are the perfect couple. We all have our days. We all go through it. And we stuck it out through the loss of pregnancies. We had an ectopic pregnancy. About 8 years into our marriage, we started trying medically. Ectopic is where the fetus gets stuck in the tube, in one of the fallopian tubes. So we had, because that was an IVF pregnancy, the first pregnancy, we had, we were monitored from the beginning, and they caught the ectopic very early. So I was very blessed. I didn't lose a tube or anything. They managed to dissolve the pregnancy as early as, I think it was, the fetus was 6 weeks old. But the good part was we knew that we could get pregnant. We knew that there was a chance. Yeah. And but at that time, we held that as a little ray of hope as we moved forward. But I don't know if it was enough. It was still really a long process.
Right.
And
because you got the hope and then it's kind of taken.
And even after that, it took us, that was in 2010, and then it took us 5 years after that.
I'm going to backtrack you a little bit, because I want to understand that mindset of you're trying naturally for so long and go, okay, well, what are our options? How did you guys get to choosing in vitro, and how did you feel about, like, I'm going to have to start putting my body through a process as a woman?
That was a really hard decision that we had to make. We knew that after 8 years, this just wasn't happening, and it's the hardest when doctors tell you this is unexplained infertility, and then you're thinking, okay, we're fine, we're healthy. Why is it not happening? What is not happening? What are we doing? Absolutely. So we tried the just the insemination first, which didn't work, and then we knew we had to, in vitro was what was suggested to us. So we said, okay, let's give it a shot, and that didn't work. So we knew, okay. So we tried in vitro. We knew we were willing to take the risks. We knew when reading all the fine print, all the hormones can cause cancer, all the hormones can mess this up and mess that up, but we just chose to ignore the fine print and move on, and just like, okay, were we worried? Yes, but did we put it aside? We said, no, this is what we want is greater than what can happen, so let's just go ahead and keep trying. So we actually did in vitro 5 or 6 times. I went away to India for 6 months to try in vitro there. We were introduced to a really good doctor. I walked away after 6 months from India. They said, you may just get pregnant naturally. And I'm like, okay. So we went back, and then at this point after India, we had just given up. We said, you know what? We are enough for each other. If it happens, it happens. It doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. End of story. However, a year later, our doctor who had been treating us in Florida came on a cruise, decided he wanted to talk to us and tell us there's new research out there, there's new stuff out there. Kind of made it his personal mission to get us back for one more round to do the additional testing, and that's when it worked. We did all that. We did all the additional testing. It took 6 months for the entire process this time, and it happened. We got pregnant, and that community,
You've been trying for years, for over a decade.
It was, we didn't believe it initially. We were like,
yeah,
how can it be? How can it be? It was the same excitement we felt when we first got pregnant, but the numbers showed it. The numbers that the doctors were seeing showed it, that estrogen was rising and everything was right. And this time it wasn't an ectopic, it was getting, so yeah. And then in one of my second or third scans, we found out we were having twins, which was a shock.
What is that like?
Which
I've
was
been
a
trying
shock.
so hard. I finally
So we
got
knew.
pregnant.
So we're thinking IVF. It's common to have twins, and we were told that it could split. But our doctor put in one embryo. We said we're not going to put in more than one, just one. And if it splits, we were expecting it, but in the first scan, nothing showed. Second, third scan, we were like, oh good Lord, now we have two. My other little one was always a little smaller. She showed up late. I think she was a little angel. She showed up late, and we were excited until our 5th month of pregnancy. I had a beautiful pregnancy until then. I didn't have a day of morning sickness. I was, everything, glowing, happy, all of that. And then in the 5th month, my water broke. And the funny part, it was strange because identical twins usually share a sac in the womb, but our twins split and the sacs split. So they actually had 2 separate sacs.
Like fraternal.
Yeah, like fraternal, but they were identical. And they had 2 separate sacs, and the water bag, the sac on Ariana, our little one, broke at 5 months.
You already had them named, right? You knew one was one and one was
We
two.
didn't have them named. We had names chosen, but we didn't actually name them. We actually didn't know if we were having boys or girls. We had no idea. We didn't want to find out until the water broke. My perinatologist, I was over 35, so I had an OB and a perinatologist, and he said, are you sure you don't want to know the sex of the babies? And I said, at that point, I didn't even know if they were going to make it. So I broke and I said, I do. And he said, well, you're having girls. And I cried for a whole hour because I couldn't believe my luck.
That's such good luck in the culture too.
I had always wanted girls. I wanted a girl child, like a girl baby, and I'd wanted a daughter. I'd always felt like I'm a girl mom. And I thought, God's going to give me boys because I want girls. And I thought, everyone says, oh, you're definitely having boys. You don't have morning sickness. Everything's, that. So I think I was shocked when he said girls. And then he also said, well, I want you to know that girls are fighters. And the chances of you keeping this pregnancy are higher now at this point. So at this time, I didn't even know if both were going to make it, one was going to make it, none were going to make it. Do I have to deliver today? I got checked into the hospital in Boca Raton, which is where I had to fly to from St. Thomas, because I had my doctors there. I actually we got pregnant through IVF. All my doctors were there. I had an OB there. Everything was there. So we just went back there. We were in the hospital for 7.5, almost 8 weeks. Lying on a hospital bed, not allowed to move. And I know my doctors kept checking in on me and saying, are you okay? And I'm thinking, I'm fine. I know I'm going to deliver these babies. I'm fine. I'm fine. I didn't know what was brewing in me at that time. I had no idea. But I kept saying, why are they asking me if I'm okay? I'm fine. I'm worried about these babies. So every day we had sonograms. Every day we heard the heartbeat. Every day we knew, okay, they were okay. Ariana stayed in for the whole 27.5 days of my pregnancy. We delivered at 28 weeks. So 27 weeks and 5 days, she was in there with a strong heartbeat and a broken water bag, no water in there, and she just stayed I believe, to give her sister life. At this point, we didn't know that she was not going to make it. We knew both babies were being delivered. Both came out, and I had an emergency C-section, so they took me back to my room. The girls went into NICU, and
you had to rest.
And I had to rest. And 7 hours later, I had all these nurses who had become my friends and community, and I'm still in touch with all of them today. The doctors, the nurses, they're my Boca family. And they started unplugging me from the bed and rolling my bed out. And I just looked at them and like, oh, great, they're taking me to see my babies. And I just asked them, I said, how are my babies? Nobody's answering me. And then on the way, I meet the NICU manager who says one of them is not doing too well. And they took me in there. And I remember telling them, get my husband, bring my husband, I need my husband. So he came. And I think in the state I was still drugged out from the C-section. I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
And all I knew after half an hour was Max translating what the doctor said to him in simple words: she's not going to make it. And I just said, we didn't have time to think. So I just said, give me my baby, and then you pull the plug. So I held her, and we had to let her go. And I always say this, I say that God made the choice for us. If we were given the choice, we may have given her a very sick life. But God knew, because she was born at 1 pound, she was tiny, and she was weak. And you hear miracle stories, but when we were told that there was no hope, let her go. And we had to just let her go, because we had one more to take care of. And
you guys are doing an incredible job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will say something to that, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So first, I think it's crazy that a doctor, you had taken a break, you'd went to India, you come back here just in your life, contacted while he's going on vacation to find you and made it his mission.
Yeah.
And then to not only get pregnant, but to get pregnant with twins. There's something so bigger about this that maybe you may not even understand right now, but I do know Yana really well, and she really is a warrior herself, and you're raising her as a warrior because you've been honest with her and real with her the entire time. And because of that, she speaks profoundly and with etiquette, but still graceful, and it's amazing to watch her. And had you had her any earlier, Liliana wouldn't have her best friend at that age.
You're right.
Because they love each other.
You're right. They do love each other.
Yeah.
And it's them in their community that they're going to be raised with, and they're going to form their own community, and it's huge. It's why I love St. Thomas so much. The community is what holds us all together.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think the timing could have been, God's timing was what it was meant to be.
Absolutely.
Yana has Ariana looking over her shoulder at all given times. I say that little angel, I feel so blessed that she used my body as a vehicle to pass through me, because I think we were blessed having her in our lives, even for that short time. She used us to gain her moksha, as we call it in Indian, her immortality. She is an angel. She's God's angel, and she watches over us every day.
Yeah, I think she served her very purpose, even in that short time.
Absolutely.
She's given you so much, you know you're connected to the other side, and so does Yana from such a young age, that there's something there that she will connect with at some point. And I think it's a gift that it's hard. It's hard in this life to grasp. Emotions are intense and it's heavy, but I know that there is so much reason for her, that purpose. And the fact that you can share your story about it also is super powerful. So
Yeah.
I know that's heavy to talk about, but I am really grateful that you're sharing it. And something really positive has come from this entire story and you being the vehicle of it.
Absolutely.
Talk about Tulanda a little bit.
It is. So when we got pregnant, we hadn't even delivered our babies. I had told Max, I said, people don't talk about IVF. People don't talk about going through medical treatments to get pregnant. Especially in our culture and community, and a lot of cultures and communities, it's not only the Indian culture, it's
embarrassing. You feel like your body's doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
And I've heard people, I've read these blogs, and I'm like, but why is it not talked about on a broader scale?
Exactly.
No one's stepping forward.
And I just told him, I said, I'd like to share my story someday so that I can tell people that it's okay if you're dealing with this as a problem. It's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just taking its own sweet time to happen. Don't feel like you're any less. And I told him, I actually asked him if it was okay with him that many years ago when Yana was born. She's 5 now. And I said, is it okay if one day we share our story somehow? Maybe I'll write a book. Maybe I'll do something. I didn't know that this was the route I was going to go. But slowly, as she grew older, it came from a very difficult time in my life after Yana was born.
Well, you just have to put all your love into now raising this new baby.
Absolutely.
Dealing with life and death at the same time.
At the same time.
So we didn't really have time to grieve.
No, we didn't. We
Although
didn't
I feel
at all.
like it brought you stronger, but of course there's going to be that emotions that you can't deal with.
Yeah. We had to just get right into taking care of her.
And she was still a preemie.
She was a preemie. She was in the hospital for 3 months. She came to us 2 days before her actual due date, where she was born 3 months earlier. And it was hard, but we had to just block that part of grieving and go take care of her. But I didn't realize at the time that I was going through some very strong emotions of anxiety, of possible depression. In the NICU, at 2 months old, they would give me my baby to hold. I could only hold her after she was 2 months old. She was too little for us to even hold. And every time they gave her to me, and I look back, at that time I didn't recognize it, but I look back now and I feel it, that I would say, call one of the nurses and say, take my baby from me, I'm going to drop her. Take my baby, I'm going to... I was afraid, I was fragile.
She meant so much to you.
And
to trying to get her and then losing one.
It was the fear of losing her that stayed with me for a long time.
I think I did that with Liliana because my parents and just so much love over her.
We hold on so tight.
Yeah, like, you're a helicopter mom, and I'm like, I don't care. She's
we
all
didn't.
I have.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's that feeling that you get. She's all I have. We didn't let anybody touch her for a whole year.
Yeah.
It was just the two of us. We gave her. We thought we were okay, and then a year later, the anxiety, the depression, it all started hitting again. I went to the doctor. I said, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. And she said, you know what? You need a babysitter because you need somebody to take her from you a few hours a day. You need a break. You're going through postpartum depression. I said, a year later, she said, that's exactly what you're going through.
Caught up with you.
And it's been a challenge getting through it because anxiety and depression don't just go away. They are, you have to manage, and there are more emotions, more physiological changes that you're dealing with, hormones, years of IVF hormones in the body.
How could you not expect?
Years of I mean, and the trauma of the pregnancy, the trauma of the loss, all of it was just catching up. Will we ever forget? No. Will it ever just pass? No. But we just make a tremendous effort to make our lives as normal, as happy as possible for the child that we have. Yes, you said that right. She does know about Ariana. She's very aware of it. She talks about her all the time. We didn't know how we were going to break it to her. I don't know if she fully understands it, but
I think she does.
She does. She
speaks
understands.
to me, and I'm just,
Yeah.
You know,
She'll
I don't even know
say,
the word, kind of
it
like,
started when she was 2 actually. Yeah, it started when she was 2. She was lying on her bed. We have a picture of Ariana in her room, and she pointed at the picture and said, Yana, Yana. And I said, no, that's your sister. It's Ariana, because they were identical. They looked the same. And from then, she's known. So she talks about it to people she feels close to. Let's not say everyone. Her closest friends or her aunts or like you, she'll talk to you and say, I had a sister or whatever. And that makes me very happy.
Well, I know you said in the briefing, you know, when we were talking about Yana and that she is a warrior, that we were talking about how twins do have a bond that we won't even understand. My mom was a twin, and when my mom passed, her sister was like, she came to me, like, why didn't you come to me? But it's a twin bond, so.
It is.
You're now raising someone who feels like they might, you know, no wonder she talks about her.
She does. I feel they're still bonded.
So as a mother, you're still connected too. You have that all.
For sure. And I'm not gonna say like I said, it's with us all the time. It's not even moments, it's all the time, but
you're using it in a positive light.
Absolutely.
So now you're helping women who are going through identical stories, maybe all a little bit different in their own unique way, but I mean, that's
how Tulanda actually came about. I didn't know where this was going, but I started, I just went online and I did an online course from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. It was a year-long course, giving me the qualification of an integrative nutrition health coach, which is a concept that I totally love, because integrative nutrition is all-encompassing in my language. That's what I believe it to be. It's nutrition on the plate and off the plate. It is, it's what I love doing, and I didn't know this is where it was going. But after I graduated is when I think I realized that this is my tool. This is going to be my niche clientele. This is what women dealing, absolutely. Women dealing with infertility are the women I'd like to coach and help get through it.
There are no many losses before they get to have their
absolutely
first. So you know that too.
Exactly. But it's not only getting pregnant, it's also women who have given up getting pregnant, dealing with that, dealing with not having anyone to talk to like we didn't, going through women who've lost pregnancies, women who are trying so hard. But it's also about getting them in balance themselves before bringing a child into this world. I wish I had known this stuff before getting pregnant. I wish I had this information, or someone to walk me through it, someone to talk me through it, somebody to just talk to.
So you became that person for so many women.
And it brings me so much satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy. I love being in the store with Max. I still do artistic. I still do a mom. I still am a wife. I'm still a daughter. I'm still a sister-in-law, and all of it. And I try to be all of it.
You were doing an amazing job.
But this is me. Tulanda is me.
What does Tulanda mean?
Tulanda is actually a combination of two Sanskrit words.
Okay.
It's Tula, which means balance, and Ananda, which is bliss. So it's really balance and bliss.
I remember you had an amazing name.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but you're not just going to target, you're going to help worldly people who will contact you. Like your doctor, you found him, you know?
Yep. That man was a godsend for us. He really was. And, you know, it's just, it's crazy. But like I said, people don't meet by chance. It's divine. That's divine too. Mm-hmm. People coming together is no coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, and
I feel like Tulanda is so many things already. It says complete balanced well-being, but because you are the core of Tulanda, there are going to be people who have lost a child, you know, and that's going to be about you're helping them on. And I also feel like Tulanda is the health, right? Yeah. And you got to do all of the, I don't want to say chemicals or unnatural way, but now you're kind of helping people in a natural way. It's because when you stopped is when, and you still tried, but you really do believe that it is possible, and that's huge because you know.
Yeah. I try to create a balance as much as I am a natural, a holistic health coach.
You're more than that though. You're a mental, inspirational warrior. Inspiration warrior.
Thank you.
Is what you are, yeah.
Thank you. I try to be an inspiration for those women going through what I went through or similar situations, but I also, and I've had people ask me this, do you only coach women going through infertility? And I said no. It's any kind of complete, balanced well-being coaching is literally what my tagline is, for a reason. People who feel
spiritual well-being, physical well-being, health.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of everything. Food is one aspect of integrative nutrition, but there's so much around it that, you know, you could be eating kale and broccoli all day long, and if you're stuck in a relationship that you're dissatisfied with, or you have a job that you hate, that's not going to help. You can eat all the good stuff in the world, it's not going to give you what you want. So I think it's really about creating that balance, and there is no perfect balance, but it's the perfect balance for you. It's an accountability coach, call it a accountability partner if you like. You know, you just have somebody that you can talk to. I have a lot of clients that just say, I don't want to talk about anything about food, and I just want to talk to you. And I'm not a trained psychiatrist or psychologist, but I know how to listen.
You're probably more trained than people who are trained to do it.
I use my experience.
Life experience.
Absolutely, to help people be in a better space.
Well, you are not only helping other women and families and future families to come, you're also raising a warrior. You're the rock of your family and the glue. I mean, as well, Max, you guys both, I commend you because you're both still here, still together. Yana is absolutely amazing. You have found ways to still try to make your businesses thrive in the world that we are in today. And I just think that in itself is what the definition of a warrior really is.
Thank you.
And I'm really thankful you shared your story. I know it's not easy, and I know that sometimes what's popular is not what's chosen, but you know, what's popular doesn't always mean what's right. And sometimes we look for guidance, and you going through it firsthand, you know, me knowing you, I know that you went through the anxiety later on. And I wanted to tell you that I think it hit you later was you purging it all finally, and then coming with this. And I saw it, and you're just incredible to watch. So
thank you, Megan.
So much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow,
We will
what's
do
that?
so much more interviews about Tulanda. So you are a warrior, and she has the I am Shaira hashtag because she is a super warrior.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. I love it.
And
I love it.
You are all encompassing of that.
Oh, thank you.
Shaira, Nitya, I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Thank you.
Yeah.
For sharing me
Yeah.
too, sharing my
deserved
story.
it, and it needed
And
to be.
yeah,
And you did it well.
Absolutely.
You guys, tell us what you want to see next. Like the video, subscribe, and please share it, because even if it's not for you, it could touch and share it. Be sure to someone you know who really needs to hear these powerful words. We will see you in the next video. Bye, beautiful warriors.
Bye. Thank you.
I hope you really enjoyed it and found some power and uplifting inspiration from this beautiful, powerful warrior. I will see you guys all in the next video.